Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Two Thumbs Up podcast. Today we're standing. We're having a lot of energy. We got a lot to talk about today. I'm here with my lovely, beautiful co-host, Bobby Plays.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
And we were going over before. We were just trying to like rummage through our brains what's happened in mobile in the last month, and it's been kind of. I feel like the last few months were crazy. The last few weeks been quiet. It's been kind of chill, kind of quiet. Still some new games coming up, but I feel like to me it just seems like deja vu. Like a new game is in beta, a game is now out of beta, a new game is about to launch. Like I feel like we've been in this pretty cyclical, uh, like time period these last few months where games are in beta, they get some hype, and then they go back into hibernation for 6 months before they're coming out with their second beta. But Rainbow Six just launched their second closed beta. We have no time frame for the global launch. Have you played it yet, Bobbert?
I have not played it yet. Honestly, I'm kind of reaching the point in my career that if I can't play a game on iPad, then I'm just probably not going to do it. And it might be out on iPad and I need to give it a try. But yeah, it's just I can't be bothered. My eyes are too old, my hands are too big, my fingers cramp when I play on phone. So I'm
do they actually
like that and
your fingers?
Yeah, if I play like more than 2 or 3 games of COD Mobile, usually my fingers start to hurt.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Where yesterday, I got Fortnite Mobile to get like 120 FPS on a Red Magic 8, and that's by no means a small phone. That's like a 6.5 inch display, and I was on it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, recording a video and just playing. And then I switched to my iPad, my 12.9 inch iPad for Farlight, and I was like, dude, this is cheating. Like, I can see a guy, he's huge. My character, the buttons, everything's huge. So it is, Rainbow Six is on iOS, but the test flight, they only give out 10,000 codes or applications or whatever to the users, and I applied and I didn't get it. So I haven't even really seen any iOS footage. I know early on there was like some ping issues, like some of the lobbies, people were just having crazy ping problems, and then some like crashing issues. I played for 30 minutes like I usually do with these games that come on beta. I played, I'm like, this is cool. But that's the thing is like you play, I don't want to spend a week playing a game and then either I love it and it gets taken away from me, or I'm just, all my progress is wiped anyways, and they end up changing mechanics and features to the point where when the game does come out, everything I practice isn't really relevant anymore. But it's cool to see games like Rainbow Six coming out and like being really active with the community. This is a game that's been historically really involved in the mobile scene throughout their development and throughout all their betas and releases. So it's nice to see the game getting some love and making some progress, but still it's like, all right, like now I'm just waiting for the full launch of the game.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that it's in the same boat as a lot of the ones that we've talked about, that it is just the waiting game right now. So Warzone Mobile's in that boat. Arena Breakout's in that boat. You could say Valorant Mobile's in that boat, although Valorant Mobile's a lot further out. But like at the end of the day, games that we've seen gameplay for, we know they're working on. They released their timeline or whatever a while ago. That wasn't actually a timeline. It was just, this is when the closed beta is happening, and these are the things we want to do in the future. And like you said, they do interact well with the community. I think at the end of the day, like you said, like we've seen this process with so many games that it's tough to get excited for it anymore, because like at this point we have the expectation that like we're going to have the beta, and number one, you can't really stream it because people don't want to watch games that they can't play themselves.
Yeah.
Number two, you can make video content on it, but it's usually like one video is going to do well, and then after that, the views are going to fall off.
It's like the day of, you got to get it out within the first 24 hours, or else everyone's already seen it from someone else's channel.
Exactly. So it is something that I think as long as they're still improving it, we can look forward to the launch, but it's one of those that's still... The launch is basically just a myth at this point, just because of how long it's been in development and everything else. So I hope to continue to see them moving forward. I know a lot of people have tried it out. People are talking about grinding leaderboards. Hey, if you want to grind,
did you see that?
Do what now?
They're doing a giveaway. So for the top 2 accounts on the leaderboard, by the time the closed beta ends, they're giving away Red Magics to them, Red Magic 8s.
Oh, okay.
But then someone tweeted a meme like account share is gonna go crazy on this one. But that's what I meant at the beginning. I didn't really know how to put it into words, but like it's just like the game comes out, but you can't get too excited. You can't get your hopes too high. because in the case of Warzone, which we'll talk about in a second, a game where the hopes were through the roof of the game. Like, it's still a beta. The game isn't still out, but it's so counterproductive to like how we should think, because this is it. This is the game we've been waiting for. We can finally get it, but it's only out for a few weeks and only in a few regions, and the lobbies are mostly bots, and there's still improvements that need to be made. So it's really weird, and I've said this multiple times in the podcast, that just like, I don't like this for mobile game releases. I loved like playing a Call of Duty for 2 days, maybe 3 on a 3-day weekend if they did a beta back in the day, and then a month or 2 or 3 months later you'd get the full game. Like, that's how I enjoy betas. You get a little bit of taste, and then you're itching for more by the time the game comes out. So there's a reason to download it and a reason to buy it. But now they just give you the full-fledged game a year in advance, but it sucks. So then by the time the game does come out, the improvements have been so menial that like you don't even think it's that impressive what they've been able to accomplish. So I don't know. Another game, another beta, like you said. You make a video, and then I'll see it and for the closed beta 3 whenever that comes out in a few months. But another day, another beta. That's the way I see the mobile community right now.
Yeah, that's it seems to be the life cycle, just because so many things. I think things stagnated to a certain degree, almost out of caution in response to what we saw from Apex Mobile, because now every game is like, especially if they're developing their own game, like, it's one thing if you're having Tencent make your game. Tencent knows what they're doing. They're going to make a good product. But if you're trying to develop your own mobile development studio on an engine that you've never built a mobile game for, that's a much bigger task. And I think companies are starting to realize that it takes more time. I do hope that we see some sort of adjustment in the future. And a lot of it is just because the mobile community constantly wants more information. They want to know what's happening. They want to know all this stuff. I think ultimately it would be more beneficial, like you said, to like actually have a surprise once in a while. You don't have to see every single version of a game leading up to what it's actually going to look like for the mobile launch. And who knows? Maybe that's something that we'll see in the near future. But given the pattern that we've seen in the past, it's not something I really anticipate.
Dude, I feel like mobile players, they want to be in like the shareholder meetings. Like, they want to like get the CEO's email and like message him and say, dude, like, I played last night and like I just had this issue, and it just like, please, man, like, it's such a small arbitrary issue that only affects me and like the 0.1% of the population, but like, you gotta fix it or else I'm not gonna spend money on this game. Like, that's how I feel like the mobile community, it's been like that for a while. It's always been like that, but I feel like now that like games, especially Rainbow, are being more communicative, it like, they're like, oh my God, they're actually replying to me now. Like, my comments are just going into a black hole of like some corporate social media manager. Like, oh, I can actually get this on, which is cool. But then I feel for the social media managers of like Rainbow Six, because I think they've probably tweeted the same thing like 20,000 times.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
But
I wouldn't have the patience for it.
No, that's I hope that person's getting paid dividends for Rainbow Six. But enough of that. Well, if there's any more news, we'll keep you guys informed. But it's the same old, same old. Something that's not the same old, same old though. Warzone Mobile? It's been getting a monthly, pretty large updates ever since the game has gone into its limited release. But this last update, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, Warzone Mobile received a pretty large update, where so people thought it was. I think it's large in the wrong way, because rather than giving us a lot of new features, maybe like a graphics option where we can toggle some settings and some quality, some textures, some frame rates. We didn't get that. We did get some new skin stuff, which I still think is crazy. They're coming out. This is like the 4th season of Warzone Mobile, and only 4 countries on paper can play it. But they actually made everyone's game perform worse. They limited the games to 30 FPS foreseeably for the next month. I don't know. Do you know if they do hotfixes?
They do hot fixes every once in a while. But with that being said, this definitely seems like a change that should have happened like
month two,
in a closed alpha. Like that. And I get that you want to be able to test more devices, and that's probably the reason for it. But to cap every single device at 30 FPS, I mean, ultimately, that's probably going to result in you getting less data, if anything, because anybody that's used to playing on 60 FPS is probably just going to say, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna take a break until we get our 60 FPS back," because the gap between 30 FPS and 60 is so huge that trying to play a game on that is just going to feel
Bad.
incredibly sluggish. So
I mean, the game's already sluggish though, which is it's like
Yeah.
a double whammy. The FOV has got to be like 70, 60 maybe, and then you chuck on 30 FPS. And it's funny because I played it. Okay, I played like 2 minutes, but I didn't even feel 30 FPS. Maybe that's because the game already doesn't run very smooth that I like didn't notice it.
Oh.
But yeah, it's so weird. Such a weird change.
Yeah, I mean, I get wanting to. I don't really know how it plays into optimizing devices. Like
Yeah.
if it's already running at 60 FPS comfortably on a device, I don't know what capping it at 30 is going to do as far as testing goes. But I'm not a game developer, and there were some changes that I think they made that are exciting, or at least things that are supposed to be coming in the near future. So obviously, they did already add custom lobbies as an esports guy. That's super exciting to me because obviously that's what's going to be used to facilitate tournaments and that type of stuff. And they're supposedly adding search and destroy to the multiplayer mode as well. The fact that that's coming is a good sign, but it's not actually there yet, even though it was announced in the update. So that's something I would like to see added relatively soon. Well, I guess they can wait until they revert it back to 60 FPS and then they can add it. But also one other thing that hasn't necessarily happened yet in Warzone Mobile, but is happening on Warzone PC, is that they're increasing base HP up to 150 rather than 100, which is going to be crucial in regards to time to kill and making the game more competitive. So that's a huge change that I hope we see on mobile as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Hopefully that change actually comes because I think right now the mobile system ecosystem player base could use with some more skill gaps. A lot of games take like the idea of, oh, we're bringing a very competitive game to mobile. We need to take any competitive edge and dull it down so that the little Timmy who's using autofire has just as much of a chance to kill the pro player who has been playing this game for years religiously. Where on any other platform, that's not really the case. You know, console, PC, there's like, screw it. You guys can get as good as you want. We're not really going to nerf you. So hopefully that change comes, which would be awesome. And definitely the custom lobbies. I'm excited for that. I know games like Apex launched with custom lobbies and then restricted access, which was a huge question mark and a huge L. So hopefully, there's no, like, can you host them right now? Do you know?
I saw people in them, but I don't think there's a way to start it, so I don't think so. Yeah.
But I'm assuming there's not going to be some sort of custom room card that you have to pay to get access. Or like
no, it doesn't seem like that. It was never that way on PC and console, and because it's being made actually by Activision and not by Tencent, then that's not something I would expect to see.
Yeah, maybe though we'll get some more answers next time because Warzone. I don't know if you remember, Bobby. They did ask to be on the podcast. Believe it or not,
that's true. Yeah, I'm going to throw the screenshot up right here. Ooh. Warzone Mobile confirmed that they want to be on the Two Thumbs Up podcast. So make sure everybody go tag them and tell them that they should come on ASAP.
I forget that we didn't even mention them in the tweet or something like that. Or what was the circumstance of it? Because it was like
I mentioned them. It was like Arena Breakouts getting ready for global launch. Farlight 84 getting 90 FPS and maybe like Rainbow Six was opening their beta as like Warzone Mobile. Any news?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They said soon or something.
I think it would be kind of cool. But yeah, all in all, like I think the time frame of November is kind of like coming true slowly.
Yeah.
Because I think we talked about this last time as well. Like, they are obviously very meticulous with their testing, which is a great thing. This is by no means a bad thing. But the way the mobile community likes to receive games and the pace at which things happen in the mobile system they're just going really slow about things, which I think long term might reduce some of the hype and some of the excitement about the game. I'm excited for whenever it does launch, but I think whenever we get the graphics tab, that might be an indication of like, okay, this is maybe 2 months away. That's like how I'm thinking about it. And since we still don't have it, I'm thinking minimum like September, October. And it will probably launch during like a seasonal update. Do you think so? Like,
well, what was it at the Game Awards? They said it was going to be launching at the same time as the next like mainline Call of Duty. So
that is November.
No. Well, end of October, but
the same thing.
It's earlier than November, you know. Maybe if it's only by a couple of days, but
a few days.
It does seem likely that it's probably going to be end of October. Wait. Honestly, like having it launched alongside those will probably work symbiotically as well. And
yeah,
I'm assuming that means that the next Call of Duty is going to be on the same engine. I think we kind of assumed it. I think it's supposed to be Modern Warfare 3, and it's just like adding stuff on to Modern Warfare 2. It's all very, very confusing, but ultimately, I think we can probably expect Warzone Mobile to arrive around the same time as the next mainline.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Throwback to the May 15th launch date, huh?
Oh, good times, good times. RIP.
RIP.
May 15th.
All right, well, Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. What the heck is going on? I was trying to think of a segue. I couldn't think of a segue at all. But mobile streaming, I think, has always been pretty interesting. It's been, we're streaming elsewise, console, PC, the general masses. I mean, you used to stream on Mixer straight through your Xbox, and I think you could stream on Twitch as well. But they're like incentivizing to stream Mixer, which doesn't even exist anymore. But mobile's always been weird because it seems to only exist on YouTube. I used to stream Fortnite mobile back in the day on Twitch, but under the Fortnite category, there wasn't a specific mobile category. So even then, the biggest mobile category I've ever seen is maybe like Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, peaking at like 5,000 to 10,000 viewers. Everything else doesn't really do well. Where Call of Duty Mobile, PUBG Mobile, exclusive, consistently pull tens of thousands of viewers on a pretty consistent basis, depending on what's going on in game. But now Twitch, I think, is cementing itself as not a very friendly place for small streamers, which typically mobile streamers tend to be pretty small at the moment. But Kick is opening their doors as well. And I think I want this so bad. I want there to be a competitor for mobile streaming out there where it's not just, oh, you got to stream on YouTube. Because if you stream on Twitch, there's going to be 5% of the audience that are on all these platforms that you can pull from. So for me, I'm excited that, I'm not excited that Twitch is on their downfall. But I am excited
for it. I can't wait for the downfall of Twitch. Insert meme of me on my way to my sister's wedding, me on my way to Twitch's downfall. Insert that meme. That's how I'm feeling right now.
I mean, I don't know. Twitch's last few years, they haven't I have like 400,000 followers on Twitch. And in my dashboard, it says there's 130,000 people with notifications on, supposedly. But when I go live nowadays, I might get like 20 people to show up. Which either I'm the most irrelevant person on the planet, or they don't send out notifications to 99% of the people who have my notifications on. I think it's the latter. I'd have to assume it's probably the latter.
Probably.
Hopefully, for my ego's sake. But it's, for me, I haven't been streaming a lot over there recently. I've been trying some YouTube streams, been enjoying it. At least there's an algorithm there. At least there's discoverability. But Kick, I really want someone in the mobile community, someone with like some girth to their stream size. To go
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. To go over there and like bring an audience, because I think they're signing people like, I don't know, Aiden Ross. He's a pretty big streamer. He's a big streamer, but like $100 million. They're giving out buku bucks for like big streamers. They should just throw a couple dollars the way of the mobile scene. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, I 100% agree. To be honest, Aiden Ross is like the one thing holding me back from streaming on Kick, just because of like the community that he's built and also the reputation that he has. But overall, like if you look at the numbers, 95-5 split for Kick, which is for those of you who don't know, 95% of the revenue goes to the streamer, 5% goes to the platform. Whereas with Twitch, currently it's 50-50, but wait, we're introducing something where it's 70-30, but you have to have 350 recurring subscribers, can't be gifted subscribers, can't be Prime subscribers, and it has to be for 3 months straight.
I will say during my peak of Twitch streaming, when I was averaging anywhere from 300 to 500 viewers a stream for months on end, I think I hovered around 500 to 600 subs. And of those, like half were Prime subs, like some were gifted subs. I maybe had like 200 paid subs, which is 500 viewers. I was 500 viewer Andy. So like, and most of the smaller creators out there, if they're averaging, creators can average 30 viewers, but still have thousands of subscribers, but they're all from gifted subs. So the only people this benefits is probably anyone nowadays in like the 300 plus range. And even then, a majority of their subscriptions are still probably gifted based or Prime based. Like very few people.
It's probably like 1,000 viewers plus, which is a very small percentage of Twitch
streamers. And then
streamers.
by then, if you're making 1,000, if you have 1,000 viewers, you can get great sponsorship money. You're already getting fantastic revenue elsewhere, or you should be, or typically from those size creators. So it doesn't impact the
It just
people it
doesn't
needs
make
to
any
impact.
sense. Like, why are you? You're basically cutting off like any incentive to get new streamers, which is the only way you're going to keep a platform alive. It seems like they're only trying to appease the big dogs and make sure they don't take a contract elsewhere. But most of them are taking contracts elsewhere anyway. And then they had the whole fiasco where they said you can't run ads inside of your Twitch stream for a
Yeah.
sponsorship, which completely eliminated any potential for like tournaments because you need sponsors to be able to run tournaments. It meant that Twitch streamers weren't going to be able to effectively run ads because I think there was restriction on you being able to play audio. There's a restriction on how much of a logo can cover your screen.
3%.
3%. And it was just like,
which is like
so many absurd rules that it just makes no sense. Like it could potentially gain Twitch like the tiniest percentage of revenue. And on the flip side, they were going to lose like probably hundreds of their biggest creators. So obviously they quote unquote rolled it back, but only because of how much backlash. And it just makes me wonder, like, how do they make these decisions? Like anybody with a brain could have told you that was not a good idea.
I heard a caveat to this of the reason they were rolling this out wasn't to try to get all streamers to get their sponsorships through Twitch so they could take a cut. It's because there's sites and there's programs or like ways out there for you to run baked in ads on your stream through third parties. So I could go to a site, sign up, link in my account, say I pulled this many viewers, and then it would run ads on like baked into my stream for like a few minutes. So I would be running ads on Twitch as well as baked in ads from these people. But they didn't say that at all. That's not the way it came up. Like whoever runs their PR must they
have to be fired.
It's not that. It's just every time they have an announcement, it could be like, that is fair. That is a completely reasonable thing to do. You don't want people double dipping revenue. That's more than fine. Say that. Don't just release a weird like, hey, you just can't like have sponsors anymore. Like that's kind of cool, man. Like, I don't know, you make most of your revenue from sponsors because we don't have 70-30 splits anymore. So just give us all your money. They don't do a good job communicating. Communicating has been their number one issue throughout all this, where I think deep down they're trying a little bit, but I can't give them any credit for the way that they explain their reasoning. And especially nowadays on Twitter, where all it takes is a 5-second headline to permanently make your decision against if you like or don't like Twitch. Like they need those split-second reactions to be like, oh, that was actually good. Not, dude, I have to spend 20 minutes researching this to figure out they might have been trying to do good. Like, I think that's the big problem.
Yep. Yeah, no question about it. And I think just about every other platform, like we've not seen any type of PR fiasco. I mean, with Kick, they've had PR fiascos, but it's around the content creators that are streaming there, not around the actual policies that they've made. So I think you also have to look at YouTube, who now made it even more accessible for smaller streamers to be able to enable monetization, not necessarily through running ads on your videos, but at least through memberships, through super chats. You can unlock all of that with only 500 subscribers rather than 1,000. And I think they reduced the number of watch hours to 3,000 to unlock that portion of it as well, rather than 4,000. I've seen a lot of people complaining about like how difficult that is, but realistically, if you're streaming on a consistent basis and have any type of following, then it's not going to hurt you. And if you don't have any type of following, then you're not going to make money from super chats and memberships anyway. So it's not like you're really missing out.
Like, I think back in the day, it took me, I don't know, like I was pulling 30 to 50,000 views a month and I got a paycheck for like $50. Like, so, I mean, you can think, oh, I lost on 100,000 views of revenue. And that's like, nowadays that might be like $200, like with how ads have improved and sponsors have come to the platform. But like, if it took you 5-6 months to get that and the hours you spent on it, like your hourly wage, like if you're doing YouTube for money and that's your primary focus, you will, if like 99 times out of 100, you'll be better off just getting a job with an hourly rate, because the time you put into YouTube, it'll take so long to potentially recoup the time invested that like, I get people wanting to be a part of the program and like wanting to have these incentives and these features and these monetization abilities. But like, I just think the average person like nowadays, like if that's your goal to get monetized, like once you get monetized, you might be making $10 a month. And then even then you have to get to $100 minimum on AdSense to get paid out. So you'll still have to reach, 50,000 views a month to even get your first paycheck or whatever. So I don't know. I definitely like it. But like you said, some people complaining still. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like, and you got to keep in mind, and this is very much a back in my day type thing. But when I made my Bobby Plays channel, I didn't get my monetization approved until I had 100,000 subscribers, and I had lost out on like 2 million views or 2 million video views worth of ad revenue. So you look at the flip side, it could be a lot worse, and it could be that YouTube is still taking 4 to 5 months just to approve monetization, which is not the case at all. They do it like on all my newer channels. It happens like basically instantaneously.
Yeah.
So if you look at the flip side, it could be a lot worse. Obviously, platforms have come a long way, and obviously, at the end of the day, it's great for streamers because the more competition there is, the more opportunity there is for us to actually be able to make money on a consistent basis. And that's part of the reason why Kick at least has some upside, like regardless of the background of the website, who it's owned by, who the biggest streamers on it are. At the end of the day, if you can take 95% of the revenue that you're getting, then that's a huge W for anybody.
Huge mungo W. I said that completely wrong. Anyways, you know what else is a humongo W? Farley 84. Okay. It is a W, but
maybe not a humongo W.
Yeah, I think it's
working. It's
working. I think so I pulled up one of my favorite charts. I was checking pretty much like daily over the last.
Were you looking against Apex Mobile?
No. This is This is something completely different. It's a Steam live player count chart.
Oh yeah.
Because we'll never be able to tell how many players are in game for something like mobile. We can only go to the Google. The only thing is basing it off of like reviews. Like let's say an app on the App Store has like 200,000 reviews. That's insane. That means there's probably 2 to 5 million downloads because like not everyone reviews the game. But I think the average is like 10% of people leave reviews on games or like apps. So that's the only way we can even gauge how many downloads a game has. But even like Apex, the game had so many downloads, so many reviews, but no one played it. But Steam, everything's open backend API, so you could check. Right now, there's 25,000 players online. It peaked at 30,000 players on Steam in the last 24 hours, and then all-time peak player count was 38,000 12 days ago. So for a while, every day it was like 20,000 peak, and then the next day was 22, and the next 24. So for like a week or two straight, like it was peaking up counts, but pretty consistently now it's hitting like 30K a day, which is still good, but I think most of the community is in like Brazil. From Twitch, I mean, right now there's 3,000 viewers on Twitch for this game, but they're all Portuguese streamers. Like there's like, let me go to Twitch actually and see the site we were just hating on for 10 minutes straight. But compared to you, there's no one streaming this game on YouTube. Like there's no one. The first English streamer has, I want to say, under 30 viewers. Under 10 viewers is the highest viewed English streamer on Farlight. So very quickly, a community has been formed, but not in the traditional. I mean, Brazil is a very big, like South America has a very big mobile scene, but
mainly revolving around Free Fire. So it makes sense that they're not. I'm not going to say similar games, but probably like more similar in graphic style than games like PUBG and that type of thing.
And it can play on any device.
Yeah, it is very, very well optimized, and obviously that's the demographic that Free Fire caters to as well. So I'm looking at like the overall trend charts, and it's at least where it's peaked at, and it has, like you mentioned, it's slightly plateaued, maybe taking a little dip, but overall, like its current popularity on Google Trends is still right there where Apex Mobile was 2 weeks in. Yeah. Now, that being said, Apex Mobile had like the biggest popularity dive that I have ever seen for any game ever. But at the same time, there were buttloads of money going into advertising that. That was probably around the time that maybe it's a little bit later that Mr. Beast was doing stuff. But overall, Farlight's current popularity is higher than Apex Mobile popularity was when Mr. Beast was making videos about it. So they're obviously doing something right. I'm hoping very soon that they get the competitive tournament servers fixed, because
I think
that
they
has
have been
been one.
fixed, or at
Have they
least
been? Okay.
I've heard it was fixed.
I saw that they said they were going to fix them, but I also saw a lot of people saying that they weren't fixed yet. So that's the main reason I'm unsure.
I think as of a week ago it was fixed. But then again, yet they launched or announced they're launching 120 FPS, and then it launched, but it was broken, and then they fixed it. But then if you had it on, your sensitivity was like completely unusable. So then now it's removed again. So I will say they are doing a phenomenal job of communication. They are like, it's not just like them saying we will, they do tweet a lot like, thank you for your feedback, we would take this into consideration. But they genuinely do. Like, people are like, we want 120 FPS. They're like, all right, here you go. Like, they do a really good job of announcing, just 2 hours ago, we've recognized an abnormal sensitivity issue on mobile devices after the last update. Our team is working on a fix, and they just do hot fixes like all the time, which something other games like Apex would wait. If they launched a season and something was broken, they would wait the full 4 weeks to the next update to fix it, where Farlight fixes it in like a few days. So, yeah, I think they're doing a lot of things right, but I feel like the game is very quickly putting itself into a category of like Free Fire-esque games. And those particularly don't have a very large reach outside of South America, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely regions where it could become popular. I think the reintroduction of BGMI for India is probably going to limit the potential for Farlight to grow there. But also, I think it's a game that is like objectively very fun. Like, the majority of people, even from my audience who are English speaking, who have tried it, are like, yeah, we really like this game. Like, please stream the game more. If I had more time outside of the content I'm currently making, I definitely would. But I think esports, if they continue to execute on it correctly, has the potential to be the thing that really makes the game big, because the fact that they launched with an in-game esports client, I think, is unlike anything that we've seen from any mobile game ever. At the end of the day, the gameplay is fun. I think they just need to start paying content creators in the regions they want to grow in, because I know they've run some ad campaigns, but I think it is primarily with that Brazilian audience. So it makes sense that that's where the game is growing. I hope to see them expand on that for sure. And like you said, 120 FPS, very solid addition. I think there had been talks about removing the temporary items from the battle pass as well, which is definitely...
Oh, that voice crack was insane. You're gonna have to clip that, put that on Twitter. I was gonna say cut it, but you can't do that. Yesterday, I spent $60 on the new duck skin. I got 7 limited time skins, 7 1-day passes for the skin, and no permanents. I got 1 permanent gun skin after $60, and everything else is temporary. So I spent $60 to get a week's worth of access and a blue rated M4 skin. Horrendous.
Oh my goodness.
Horrendous. It's like that's. Yeah. I think that's just a slap in the face to anyone who wants to support the game and spend money. Like, their game is very fair priced in so many regards, but I don't. And someone was trying to justify saying, "Oh, well, PUBG has this." Who said it was a good thing? No one said just because a game does something doesn't mean it's a good thing to do. Like, I spent $60. That is, I could have bought a video game for the price of one bad M4 skin and 7 days of access to a skin. Like, and it's a lottery, your chances. Yeah, I know the chances, but I shouldn't get 7 of the skins that I want for a day. Like, it's just the biggest spit in the face.
And you can't even choose when they activate, right? Like, it just automatically activates this. Like, you should at the bare minimum be able to choose. If you're gonna get like multiple temporary skins, you should be able to at least choose when it activates, because then you're getting literally 0 value out of those duplicates.
Yeah, well, they all stack on each other, so I have 7 days now. I've got a week to use a skin.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny because I would say on paper, it's the worst skin it's the worst character in the game, because the hitbox, there's no other character that's as fat as Duckside is. And so literally, if you're ADS with a shotgun, your bottom left corner of the screen, like the left corner of your screen is taken up by the character. 25% of your screen is unseeable because your character's covering it. And it's like, his abilities, other characters already have the same abilities, and his shield, you can shoot his toes, so his shield doesn't even work. So, like, if I'm paying all this money for this terrible character, just give me the character, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay $60 and then I could have bought groceries with that. Sick. uh, I had to squeeze a rant in there somewhere. Sorry.
It's okay. Apex is gone, so got to find
Yeah.
something to talk about.
Yeah, I do
All right.
think there's a lot of potential for the game, though. There's still a lot of potential, but like you said, they need to put the game in front of people that aren't just South American. If they want the game to grow internationally, where like
Yeah.
they're fostering a phenomenal community. But if I search Farley 84 and search by viewership, it's just I believe like India right now is seeing like some Bangladesh like titles and stuff, and then Spanish or Portuguese, and that's it. For the top,
I did
like,
see that
100
Icy
videos.
said that his viewership is already higher than like what his viewership was on
Yeah, it's
on
definitely
Apex Mobile?
comparable.
Okay.
But then again, he also is someone where like his content translates through language because it's just skill. You're just watching someone
Yeah.
who's good at the game, and he doesn't really speak a lot in his videos. I don't think he does. So someone like me, where I commentate a lot, I'm directly talking about content. I'm directly talking about updates. Like I only am appealing to English speaking people, and I think that's a small minority at the moment of the game. So like for me, it's kind of unincentivizing to make content that's not gameplay content. But then if I make gameplay content, I'm competing against Icy. I lose that battle. Or like Godsey, I lose. There's no way I win that content battle. So I don't know, potential, but I don't know. Maybe they're comfortable in their niche and growing that, which I have no complaints about, because I'd rather them do that than try to appeal to everyone like Apex and then fail. When they have some good. They got some good going.
All right. Well, moving on to other new games. A game that has been in that same life cycle that we talked about with Rainbow Six, with Warzone Mobile, with Arena Breakout, everything else. Project Bloodstrike by NetEase. This is a game that was, especially when it was initially introduced, was basically talked about as knockoff Warzone Mobile. It has a lot of similar mechanics. It's got a lot of the same guns. It has the tag sprint that obviously you have in Warzone Mobile. It's got slide canceling. It's got plates. It's got respawn beacons, all that stuff. Not respawn
It's
beacons.
Warzone.
Buy stations. It's basically Warzone Mobile. I believe,
Tomorrow?
if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow that's not the global launch though, right?
No,
it's just another beta.
I joined their Discord. Also, I just want to let you know I did just sit down just to
Okay.
give you an update. You can't see each other, but just keeping you up to date. Yeah, be prepared for the coming battle. Project Bloodstrike will launch the final closed beta test on June 17th, which so actually UTC, I think it's 8 o'clock tonight, because isn't UTC 0 for us 8 o'clock tonight?
I believe so. Yes,
Yeah.
that sounds correct.
Yeah, so I believe a few hours, which is cool. And it's on PC, iOS, Android, and PC, which is fascinating.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
I think maybe they're seeing some Farlight success.
Well, it's NetEase, so they did the same thing on Reasons
Oh,
Survival.
yeah, that's very true. But yeah, excited for the test, and there's been so much interest about it because Warzone, in people's
It's moving
minds,
a little slow.
Yeah, well, also, if I can play the same game, it's got the same features, same mechanics, same weapon, very similar graphics, but it actually runs well on my device, why would I, wait for the game to come out for the next 5-6 months, play on a VPN, and then deal with worse performance than Bloodstrike offers? Like, it just doesn't, it's solving a lot of problems that Warzone has, and so it's very fair. Like, if they're quick about this and they get this game out fast, like, it could get a lot of traction before Warzone drops. And as NetEase is seen, they're being pretty slow to the ball to actually launch the game.
There was also some conversation on Twitter about the fact that the map that they're using for Project Bloodstrike is basically a copy of the map for Knives Out, which is also a NetEase Battle Royale, to which I replied, 75% of their games have copyright infringement lawsuits against them, so I don't know why anybody would be remotely surprised about that. And at the same time, like, I think for most mobile gamers, like, the map that you play the game on is a very small factor in whether or not you're going to choose to play the game. The majority of it comes down to the performance, the graphics, and like the actual play style of the game. So would it be nice for them to have come up with a brand new map? Yes. Am I going to not play it because it's on the Knives Out same map, whatever. No, because I didn't play Knives Out anyway. So at the end of the day, it's a new map to me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because same thing, like to say like another closed beta. Sick. Now we have to play it for a few weeks, get excited, make a video or two, go back into hibernation. Like my channel is just it's literally a variety mobile channel now because so many games come out with updates and like little things that like it's worth covering for a video, but there's nothing I still feel like there's nothing new that's consistent enough for anyone to really latch onto other than Farlight. But as we just talked about, it's kind of like regionally isolating itself from some of the mobile community. So I just want a game to come out that's pretty globally played and is good. I don't know. I feel like that's asking for a lot. Like at the current state of mobile, like globally available or globally played, and it's good. I don't know. You either get one or the other. You get. It's
I don't think that's that much to ask for, but I do understand that it feels like a lot to ask for given what we've dealt with for the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's like the two evils or the lesser of two evils. Either you get a game that's out everywhere but sucks, Apex, or you get a game that's out and is great but only certain people in certain regions play it, which as creators in the regions that are played in can sort of make it not as appealing to play and make content on. And so it's interesting. It's a lot of things that are I think are pretty mobile exclusive. Like I don't think a lot of other creators like PC are like, oh man, are people in my region gonna like watch me and play this game? Or is it like, or is this gonna appeal to like a South American audience or like an Asian audience? I think like, oh, sick new PC game. Like, oh, it's good.
Yep.
Oh man.
Well, speaking of Apex Mobile, Apex Mobile 2.0 in quotations is on the way. For those of you who haven't seen, Tencent is making a Chinese version of Apex Mobile as they do with every one of their other mobile games, COD Mobile, PUBG Mobile. But people are making a very big deal about the fact that this is Apex Mobile 2.0, even though in reality it's probably Apex Mobile 0.5.
1.5.
1.5? You think it's improved?
Yeah.
Really?
Dude, I think they added like legit wall bouncing. Like it's a feature now in the game. Like it's a movement.
No, I'm talking about improved from Apex Mobile.
Probably. I mean, if you're
they don't even have FPP.
Oh yeah, maybe not that. I forgot about that. But it's also closed beta. You know, they can add it.
Well, yeah, that's mainly what I'm saying. People are hyping this up as Apex Mobile 2.0 when in my mind this is a regression from what Apex Mobile was whenever it disappeared.
Yes, at the very end of Apex Mobile, it was a very solid game. It took a long time to get there, but it was a very solid game at the end. This is probably not going to be. It's probably not going to be as polished. It's probably have some features. But I don't even see the fascination about this game because you're not going to be able to play it. It's going to be... And when people say like, "Oh, just get a VPN," you've never tried to play a Chinese game before because you have to have a QQ account, which if you don't know is only given
it's a nightmare.
It's only given to Chinese residents, not people who know Chinese, not people who can VPN to China, to people who literally live in China because it's so complicated to get a login. And then once you do, the apps you're playing are all Chinese. So there's no English option because they don't, it's not like the first language or the second language. So by the time you get on the game, you're not gonna know what to do. So I think like some creators like,
and also you're gonna be playing on 120 ms the entire time.
Yeah, if not more. Yeah. But I've seen some creators like, I'm excited to test it out, and like I'm like, sick.
Why?
Like, yeah, I mean, like it might be a banger video, but even then, Tencent has been on a roll striking down creators. I know there's multiple. I think IMO, Chris, they both got strikes. From just making content on the game and like showing some leaked footage. So I wouldn't be as excited to play this game knowing that there's a risk to my channel and it's probably going to be dang near impossible to get on in the first place.
I mean, I don't think they're going to be copy striking people whenever it's like globally out. I think you'll be able to play it because like I played COD Mobile China version before and like posted videos on it. And at the end of the day, it's like the same as COD Mobile Global version. They just have a couple different skins or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think people realize, like you talked about, how difficult it is to get a QQ account. I tried like 1,000 different methods and could not successfully get a QQ account. The only reason I was able to play it is because I borrowed an account from somebody else who had previously lived in China. That was the only way that I was even able to play the game. So
because China has their own like social medias, right? Like
yes.
they're not on
Well,
YouTube.
you have to have a Chinese phone number in order to verify the account, and you can't use like a fake China phone number. Like I tried every possible fake China phone number service, and none of them worked.
Yeah. Well, it's also like they have their own social medias. So like getting in contact with someone who lives in China, you got to know them from like Bobby said, from the outside somehow. Either they moved there or they used to live there. And it's, I don't know, all to play a game that, yes, Apex is a pretty fun game, but it's by no means worth going to.
It's
the
not
worth
the effort. Yeah.
No.
And nobody's going to watch it if they can't play it. So like,
yeah, exactly. Or you'd get like a banger video. But do you really want to sit around and play a game that has bad MS and is Chinese, like everything? I don't think so. I think like, yeah, it's cool for like it's like Fortnite Mobile, like the iOS version. Like, yeah, you can go through the links of like downloading and playing the old season 2 or chapter 2 map, but it's fun for 30 minutes and then you're bored. So I think it'd be the same thing, but I just think the mobile community, they're like, we're fiending for some sustenance, like I said, some consistency, because we get a game and then it's gone, and we get a game and it's gone, and we get a game and it's gone, or we get a game, it's a bad update, and we're like, find another game.
I think a lot of it is just content creators like hyping it up because it's like it's the return without giving the information that, hey, you're not going to be able to play this game.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason that the hype has any sustenance, because if people realize how difficult it would be to play the game, and also like how unrewarding it would be to play on high MS with nobody that you actually know. Like, people probably wouldn't really care about it.
That's what I tried to say in my video. I posted a video, it was up for 24 hours, then I privated it because I didn't want to get striked. But I was like, you guys I can't play the game. And if I can't play the game, you don't, like, there have been so many times where I've gone down rabbit holes for hours to get access to a file or an update or something to make content on. If I don't think I can do it, sure as heck the casual people aren't going to know how to get a QQ account and to log in. And I was like, it's not going to happen. But then I'm not going to call anyone out, but I did watch a video. And I even told you, Bobby, I was like, this is wrong, right? He's like, they were claiming they were going to, I mean, they said they're going to get someone's QQ account and make videos on it. But I was like, that just seems like so much effort to play a game. Like, there's a lot of other good games. Like Arena Breakout is entering. Is it going global?
I believe it's going global. I think they shut down for like the final preparation or whatever, kind of like what we saw for Apex Mobile prior to it going global. So I'm assuming at some point in the next month, we should see an Arena Breakout global launch.
I think that'll be interesting to see how the community reacts to it, because was it ever available in the US for closed beta testing?
Not that I know of, but I didn't ever really try.
Yeah, I mean, I've played it a bunch, but I have always just been given access to it, never had to like go through any extra means. But that'll be interesting to see how we react to it, because by then, Rainbow Six beta will be gone. I don't know how long the Project Bloodstrike beta lasts. I don't think they last very long.
No.
So that'll probably be the only game out that's like new, unless Warzone happens to come out in the next month. But obviously,
that would be a miracle.
That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. I'd appreciate that, but don't think it's gonna happen.
Especially since I'm a Warzone mobile partner and I haven't heard anything about it. So I hope it's not in the next month.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's just interesting. This is it was weird. I feel like mobile's been weird the last like year or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean, it's been for the most part a big waiting game. I'm glad we have like a little bright spot on Farlight that could potentially see some growth continuously. I was really excited because I kept looking at the Google Trends graph and it kept going up, and then now I'm looking back at it and it's like taking a little dip. So I hope they do start to make a marketing push, like you said, into some of those more Western countries. Well, I guess technically South America is Western, but in my mind, I'm thinking like North America and Europe, like English-speaking Western countries. I think if they do that, I think it does have a bright future. But once again, as all games have shown us over the past 3 years, that is not an easy thing to do.
Time will tell. That's also the other thing, is just give it some time and it'll all reveal itself. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Two Thumbs Up podcast. We try to come out as often as we can, but we also don't want to release a 5-minute episode, just saying our hellos and then our goodbyes.
Guys, can you see my golf glove tan? One of my
What?
hands is significantly whiter than the other hand, and it's
How much you been
very, very
golfing?
funny.
I didn't know you were golfing.
I've been golfing a little bit,
You been posting
couple
about it?
golf weekends. I don't really post about it much. No,
Oh.
just kind of do it.
Man, that's cool. I gave my golf clubs to my dad because I sucked so much. So I gave myself like 3 months of just trying to learn, like go to the driving range, win a few times. Nope, didn't really click. So I just
Whenever you
away.
move back to Charlotte, we can go golfing.
Oh yeah, I mean I know the driving range too.
All right.
It's a fun one. Not really, they're all the same. Yeah, but thanks for watching, gamers. As always, we will do our due diligence. We will bring you the most up to date. Well, no, it's not probably not the most up to date. The most entertaining
As up to date
news
we can be, because
Yes.
we're very busy people and we're very important, and we can't always make
so
you know.
busy going to the beach next week, gonna get my tan on. Come back with a gnarly farmer's tan probably.
Did I tell you I'm going to Europe for like a month and a half?
When?
End of June.
Dude, can I do the podcast by myself?
No, I'll still be able to
Oh.
do the podcast. I'm just gonna do it from Europe.
What are you doing over there for a month and a half?
Esports.
With what? COD?
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yep.
I won't see you over there, but hopefully a good trip.
All right, thanks.
Unless iOS, unless I have to go to Europe to buy an iPhone.
True.
If that'd be so hilarious. Well, I'm gonna be there in like September, if anything, because the iOS comes out in September.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
yeah,
maybe,
I will be gone by August.
Maybe
but...
stay an extra month or so, and then we can meet up. That'd be
yeah,
cool.
I got you.
Yeah, spend an extra few $2,000 in hotels and food and everything else.
Easy peasy.
All right. Is there any other life updates before we hop off?
I don't think so. That's the only big one.
All right, nothing from me, gamers. Pretty boring life as usual. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Deuces.